if the CPA is lower than the AOV, there is no CAC. The CAC is free. It's a free customer. How does a $32 cost of acquiring a new customer happen when we got a $216 cost, a $65 cost, a $49 cost, a $41 cost, a $29 cost? Hey, one of them made it below goal, but that was only 1,500 bucks out of the 278. You have to scrap this. This did not really do anything. This is what I'm saying. This is like another 2-hour conversation, so I'm not going to dive into it. But what happens is the efforts that you cannot track up. Got chat. Returning customers. Nope. This is only new customers. The true CAC is only new customers.
All right, John. So did you go over the question about CAC equals to AOV minus CPA? Did you cover that one?
No. What was that question?
Anil wrote in the chat, CAC equals to AOV minus CPA.
Yes. So now that's I guess it would be AOV. Yeah, like you can take an average. That would give you an average CAC. You could do CAC over, daily if you wanted to. But if you said that the order value of this order was $50 and it cost us $45 to make that, then our cost per acquiring new customer is -5. Now, if the average order value is 50 and the CPA is 60, then our cost of acquiring that new customer is $10. So it's very, very close depending on the context of the conversation of what is CAC. If the CPA is lower than the AOV, there is no CAC. The CAC is free. It's a free customer. That's how I talk to two big clients when we say, what is the cost of acquiring a new customer? And then again, there's consider margin. There's a gross and there's a net. So if you have a 200% ROAS and there's a 50% net profit, the cost is 0. It's a free customer. A lot of times what people will look at too, and this is going to be probably a super advanced course, I didn't get into it, which is the halo effect of top of funnel that doesn't have a CPA, but plays into the overall MER. What that is, in a nutshell, is if my CPA on YouTube is low, but I have a lot more new traffic coming in directly or organically that I cannot attribute to a specific channel spend because we're doing YouTube at a high level, discovery at a high level, and Facebook at a high level. You look at MER. It's a really odd phenomenon that people haven't really realized, but I've been using it a lot to share examples with. And here, I'll take a real client that I won't say the names, I won't be able to use this, but here's something you're going to notice, that sometimes not everything is trackable. You have to look, and I did a video about this too. Does YouTube, is my YouTube campaigns actually working? And that's when you're using YouTube in order to drive new customer awareness, your CAC is extremely high, your CPA is extremely high, AOV doesn't change, it's the same product, but there's a halo effect that is not trackable without something like Northbeam or a good CMO. They're looking at everything. Here's what I mean. Check this out. This is the last 7 days of this client. They've spent $278,000, made $466,000 for a ROAS, global ROAS, also known as MER, media efficiency ratio of 1.68. Now, if everyone looks at this list here, and this is where all of our spend happened, you'll know that there's one that came in, one that came in above the MER of 1.68. This 2.08 is not high enough of a revenue. It's only 3,000 out of 466,000 above that goal to push that above what the averages of everything else are. What do I mean? Well, 1.16 did not push this up to 1.68. 1.23 did not push everything up to 1.68. How do you lose 200,000, 75,000, 7,000, 1,500 and win? It's interesting. This client needs to be above a 1.48 to make money first time. This is $32. How does a $32 CAC come about? And $32 CAC is actually, this is true CAC. This is new customer, not just cost, not CPA, only new customers. How does a $32 cost of acquiring a new customer happen when we got a $216 cost, a $65 cost, a $49 cost, a $41 cost, a $29 cost? Hey, one of them made it below goal, but that was only 1,500 bucks out of the 278. You have to scrap this. This did not really do anything. So we're looking at what is actually going on. We look at how does this come about from here? Does anybody know? How do you get $32 CAC on campaigns that aren't producing $32 CACs? This is what I'm saying. This is like another 2-hour conversation, so I'm not going to dive into it. But what happens is the efforts that you cannot track up, chat, returning customers. Nope, this is only new customers. The true CAC is only new customers. Osama.
I was just going to say, it's just the effort of everything combined. It's not one individual marketing network. So it's emails, TikTok, YouTube, SMS, people coming directly, organically, everything combined.
And everything that no one could ever track.
Yep.
Hey, Osama, girl.
Yeah.
Well, let's say you said no. Hey, Osama, have you heard?
Never heard of it. Nope.
Yeah. Go check it out. I saw that this have this hair tie that you really want.
I don't like it.
What's the cost of that? Zero. What'd you spend? 40 bucks.
Yeah.
Things are down. I keep seeing this YouTube ad. I pull up my phone when I get to Starbucks one day after watching the YouTube ad twice on my laptop and go directly and buy something. Can't attribute that. You can't attribute the top of funnel stuff that looks like it performs poorly, but everyone actually goes and converts on it. So when I look at, good.
I said for something like supplement brand or like tea, coffee, word of mouth is extremely powerful, which you can't track.
Exactly. So when you're looking at CAC versus LTV, there's a one layer deeper that I can't really necessarily dive into all right now, but that you want to track the MER of everything. And that's where I told the client, I have one campaign that has a $250 cost of acquiring a new customer, which is YouTube. It's actually 80, and it's actually allowing us to spend more on brand and actually track that now I'm making more money at a higher ROAS of a brand campaign that I thought I couldn't possible. That's a video that just went live on YouTube or is going live on YouTube soon. But that's one that is important, yes. And direct traffic, Adil, that's exactly right. Northbeam should take direct traffic or remove it and attribute it back to other channels. And a lot of times it just says, this is the unattributed. Like Northbeam's like, I have no idea. There's literally the first time that they ever arrived was direct, and I can't see a view pixel or anything. It won't track it, period. That actually happens. Good companies know that we can't track everything. So if there's a 100% goal and we can get 80% of the way there, that means we got a 100% goal. That's how everything looks.
This is not a glitch. I'm interrupting the video you're watching because I need to remind you that I'm always looking for people to join our team. So if you're passionate about Google Ads and you want to work with the best Google Ads agency on the planet, please go to solate.com/apply. Speaking of working with the best Google Ads agency on the planet, if you're having trouble with Google Ads and you want professional help, that's what we do. You can go to solate.com, that's SOL8.com, to apply for your free, no obligation action plan. And if I've given you any level of value at all, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. That's how we juice the YouTube algorithm so they actually know that I know what I'm talking about. If you have questions, comments, concerns, or confessions, hit me below in the comments. And now, back to your regularly scheduled program.
John, we also had another question before that and says, we have to consider margin too, right?
Yes, but that depends on what the LTV is. And remember when I gave my LTV requirements, I did 30, 60, 90 days, a 6-month and a 12-month time range as well. Because what that's going to happen is if you say I have a $100 product that I make $50 on net profit, my cost is 50, and I sell that product for $100 in cost, you've lost $50. Now in 30 days, do they make a second purchase? If yes, you're now net positive after 30 days. After 60 days, do they make another purchase? If yes, you're profitable after 60 days. Same thing. And now if 90 days to make another product, actually they purchased at 30 days, they also purchased at 60 days, and they purchased at 90 days. Excellent. We're now profitable 30 days, 100% profitable 60 days, 200% profitable off that original spend 90 days. That's why you track that growth.
All right, we also have another comment / questions. It says, is CPA greater than $0? We make money to acquire a customer.
Yes. Yeah. If your cost of acquiring a new customer, like let's just say your CPA is, well, it's a ROAS model. If you, I'll use another example. You have a $100 product and we sell it for 25 and you make $50 on the product, your cost of acquiring a new customer is $25 profitable. It's actually negative $25 cost. It's $25 profit per new customer. So you get a new customer at a $25 product, or after a $25 profit. If you do not have LTV, ROAS is where we do have to focus. But if you have a low AOV and you only make one sale, it's not really paid trafficable. You can't sell a $10 product to make $5 on when it's a $3 cost per click. Never going to happen.
All right. Then I think it's a follow-up comment there that says not taking into consideration COGS.
Right.
The cost of goods.
Yeah. Well, if you and sometimes you can take into consideration cost of goods. You just have to extend that timeline or get a better ROAS if they don't have LTV.
All right. Another question. Is there a possibility of returning customers' rate taking a hit because the brand plus remarketing that went after returning customers that in turn inflates the ROAS was stopped and the campaigns now focus on new customers?
It depends if you're bringing in the right type of customer. There's a lot of factors in your sales. The price is so low. There was a big, article written about it by some thought leader that people just rushed to buy the first time and never bought again because they like the person that they followed and that person bought it. So yes, the returning customer rate, what I like to look at is if it's good, is it staying the same or going up? If the returning customer rate over a long enough period of time does not go down, good. If it goes down, bad. Returning customer rate is analogous to all channels. So what is your Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Google, organic, direct, email, what is all that doing? If you make a change on Google, you shouldn't really see a change inside of your overall metrics. But because if it says, hey, I brought in 10,000 new customers and you only had 100, your return rate is going to drop, but it should climb back up after that 30, 60, 90, 6-month, 12-month LTV has taken process. Because I brought in 10,000 new customers, did they buy again? If not, I brought in the wrong customers. Or something happened that they didn't buy the same product that you used to sell very frequently. Your best performing product, is not my best performing product that I'm getting. So product that is being purchased is going to affect returning customer rate, the volume, and also the amount. So people that come in and buy big orders are going to have a returning customer rate that might be the same, but annually, not monthly. A lot of things there to consider. But yeah, my goal though is if I'm seeing returning customer rate drop, I have to look at what product am I selling, who am I selling to differently than if I was just simply trying to scale. Because if I was simply trying to scale, that should stay the same.
All right, thank you, John. We have another question. It says, how accurate is the new customer, returning customer, unknown segment in Google Ads?
Horrible. It's Google's interpretation of that, which is why the new customer only feature in Performance Max doesn't work. I tested it 3 times and all that happens was the volume dropped and I just got the same ratio. So Google's like, hey, I've taken all the returning customers out and I got you all new customers. Well, my volume went from 50 sales down, or 100 sales down to 50 sales. And instead of it being 100 sales, 50 new, 50 returning, I got 50 sales, 25 new, 25 returning. So I was like, that didn't work. And even Google on the side, it's like, oh, by the way, we may not know if someone's new and returning based on privacy settings. It's like, well, why is that a thing? So it doesn't know very well at all.
Okay, we have another one. It says, what is the ideal returning customer percentage?
There really isn't one. What you want to do is you want to use that metric in order to base your goals off of. So if recurring customer rates 100%, scale to the moon at a 50% ROAS and you're profitable immediately. If the returning customer is 10%, your AOV multiple times that return is as much as you're going to make, and your CPA has to be 1/3 on, or on that new customer metric, so that you can at least hit a 3x return. So that's the thing, is we have to look at what is going on, and then based off of what is happening, and does that multiplied by that equal good, or is that multiplied by that equal bad? Which means, is my CPA or my CAC higher than what the AOV and multiple is? Because now I'm spending more money than you will ever make on that customer.
Okay. Another question, do we only want to focus on CAC with Google Ads, or do we still want to use remarketing campaigns to increase AOV and LTV?
You can, but your remarketing campaigns need to be focused on not the 12th customer, the person made the 12th purchase. Your remarketing should be only focused on one-time customers. There's actually a tool that if your client wants to use the By the Numbers app, one way that I thought it would be very useful, and we've done this for as an example, is inside the By the Numbers app. Here's what it's going to break down to. There's another portion of this that might be even more valuable than just getting the metrics. It's called segments. This is segments here, and this will actually say, hey, you have 1.5 million customers that bought within the last year to year and a half ago. That will likely churn. The frequency is too low. Well, the average customer lifespan is 17 days. They buy once, never hear from them again. So customer value is $37. There's a loyalty customer though. These loyal customers already bought 4 more times in the last 6 months. They average purchase 7.7 times. There's 10,000 people there. Their average customer value is $250. Awesome. If I can get those things at $10, $20, $30 CPA and keep them, that's an amazing ROAS that I get to not try that hard for, but make sure that these people don't enter to dormant customers. So and then it's like, oh, here, view the customers and export a CSV. Well, what happens when you export a CSV? You upload them into Google. Now there's your audience. You have a discovery, YouTube, GSP, display, whatever it is. So you can remarket to these people very specifically and by who they are. Hey, loyal customer, you love our brand and we want to show our appreciation. Here's 10% off your next order. How many of those 10,000 people would buy again? I don't know, 2,000 people, boom, volume, great ROAS. Your CAC didn't really reduce because it's the same people, but your volume went up. Is that a thing you need to do? I don't know. Gotta ask the client, but sometimes it's great. Oh, you're on mute, Ari.
I am. Okay, sorry. I was saying thank you for that example. We have one last question here in the chat. It says, with the new customer acquisition setting that we are going to do with the inflated ROAS and the conversion value from the additional dollar amount we added on the account to be able to bid higher for the new customers? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you take in the, you take your multiple, you take your value that you've added, you multiply it by what Google saw as a new customer, you subtract that from the overall conversion value, and that's your real ROAS. So if you have a $100 AOV and you're adding $100 to a new customer, your conversion value on that one sale is going to be $200. The bank account, the CMS is going to say $100. Your ROAS might be $600, but know that you actually had a ROAS of $300. What you're doing though is you should be able to see, does that actually bring you more customers? Well, how do you verify that? We need to dive deep and know what the existing customers were before, month over month, and after adding the setting, does it actually increase? That's something that I actually saw this inside of the large client, that when they were running smart shopping last year, even before Performance Max came out and we started using it in March, I was using the inflated ROAS tool on my own, but I would send them reports of after everything was removed. And that's was like, I really wish we had a column that showed this. And I think a column now came out. I haven't actually looked at it yet. But a column came out that what I wanted to, which is what's the actual customer value minus our inflation from first time increasement. But yes, you'll need to take your customer value, you'll need to take your amount and you have to subtract what your multiple is times your customers. So 15 new customers that Google saw by using segment, conversions, new versus returning customer, that $15 is gonna be higher. That's why you'll normally see a higher value per conversion, and you're gonna see ROAS just be shoot up and conversion value just shoot up after turning that on.
All right, does anybody else have another question? Oh yeah, we have another one. Does this apply to secondary brand seller? Example, a client selling APS Protein but the loyalty is towards APS Protein, not the client.
Yeah, you actually just explained like our biggest client, what they do. They just resell medications. So when you say, does this apply to it? I think what we're saying is, does everything that we're doing here apply to that? Yes. The only problem is you're going to lose if APS Protein ever outprices you, period. They have a MAP pricing that they can violate. You can't. You're in an uphill battle all day long. That's what we saw is when we run sales that go kind of sometimes below MAP pricing, our cost of acquiring a new customer goes from 112 to 40 immediately. And then all of a sudden we raise our price back up and it shoots right back up to 112. So when you're a secondary brand reseller, the person is only going to care about three things. What's the price of the product? How fast are you going to get it to me? And how much does it cost to get it to me fast? Then I'm going to go to APS and say, are you more expensive shipping, or take longer to ship? Whoever has the better scenario there, plus the reviews to back it up that they are actually not a scammer, though that company is going to win. Hey everyone, John Ryan here with Solutions 8, and today we're going to be discussing, are YouTube ads really working for you? Google's going to say no, but in reality, it's yes. So that's what we're actually going to be diving into a bit here. Is Google is mainly a click-attributed network.